Okay, let's solve the short answer questions from competency focused questions. Question number 50, we have a shopkeeper marked a pressure cooker at rupees 1800. The rate of GST on the pressure cooker is 12%. The customer has only 1792 and he requests the shopkeeper to reduce the price so that he can buy the cooker in that price of 1792. What percent discount must the shopkeeper give? So for this question, um, the shopkeeper has to give some sort of a discount, and then he has to lower the marked price from 1800 to some other lower value, and then on that reduced mark price he has to apply the 12% GST, so that the total bill amount for that pressure cooker will be only 1792. So one way to solve this question, we can take the reduced mark price as X after giving the discount. Then I will look at the total amount to be paid for the cooker. So now the total amount paid will be the reduced mark price plus the GST on the reduced mark price, which is 12% of X, and that will give me 1792. Then if I solve this equation, I will get the value of X as 1600. So my reduced mark price is 1600. So the discount that the shopkeeper had to offer was 1800 minus 1600, which is 200 rupees. And the question asked me the discount percent. So discount percent is the discount given on the original marked price. So 200 by 1800 into 100. If I calculate that, I get the fraction 100 by 9. As a mixed fraction, it is 11 1 by 9, but generally we should leave the answer correct to two decimal places. So if you do the division, it will be 11.11% correct to two decimals. Okay, let's look at the next question. Question 51. A man opened a recurring deposit account in a branch of PNB. Man deposits certain amount of money per month, such that after 2 years, the interest accumulated is equal to his monthly deposits. So this is the condition given: interest is equal to monthly deposit. Find the rate of interest per annum that the bank was paying for the RD account. So here I will use the interest formula. Let's say that the rate of interest was R%, and the time given is 2 years, which is 24 months, and the interest is same as monthly deposit, and we can assume some value, let's say X. So this is my interest formula: I equal to P into N plus 1 into R by 2 into 12 into 100. Now in this formula, the interest and the monthly installment, these two are the same, so I can take variable X and X, and I can divide both the sides with the same value X, so it will be cancelled off. Then N value was 24, N plus 1 is 25. Then denominator has 2 into 12, which I can cancel with 24. Then only 25 and 100 remains. 25 times 1, 25 times 4. So then everything else is cancelled. I will have R by 4 equal to 1. Hence R is 4. 4% per annum. That's the answer. Moving ahead, question number 52. Akshay buys 350 shares of 50 rupees par value of a company. So here this 50 rupees par value of a company means this is my nominal value. Then the dividend declared by the company is 14%. So 14% is my rate of dividend. If his return percent from the shares is 10%, 10% is rate of return. Find the market value of each share. So for such questions, we have seen that the formula connecting the two rates and the two values will be very useful. So I can say that your rate of dividend into nominal value is always rate of return into market value. So only the market value is the unknown quantity. Let's say market value is x. So then if you substitute the values, rate of dividend 14, nominal value 50, rate of return 10, market value x. So if I calculate for x, x will be 14 into 50 by 10. So 14 into 5 is 70. So market value of each share is 70 rupees. Moving ahead. Question 53 is about inequation. So solve the following inequation and answer the questions given below. So inequation given. So usually for an inequation, a replacement set is given. Here they have not mentioned it, but they have mentioned it for the subparts. So while answering the subparts, I will look at what does x belong to. So in general, let me solve the inequation. So I can split the inequation into two inequations and then later I will combine the solution. So the first part of the inequation is 1 by 2 into 2x minus 1 less than or equal to 2x plus 1 by 2. Then because the left side has 1 by 2, I can multiply both sides with 2. So I'll get 2x minus 1 less than equal to 4x plus 1. Then I will move the 2x to the right side plus 1 to the left side. So I get minus 1 less than equal to 4x minus 2x minus 2 less than equal to 2x. Then divide both sides by 2, minus 1 less than equal to x. All the operations that we have done here, the sign of inequality remains the same. So I get one value as minus 1 less than equal to x, or I can read it as x is greater than or equal to minus 1. This is one part of the solution. And on the other half, 2x plus 1 by 2 is less than equal to 5.5 plus x. Then if I move the plus 1 by 2 to the other side, plus x to the other side, I get 2x minus x less than equal to 5.5 minus half. So I get x is less than or equal to 5. This is the second part of the solution. So if I combine the two parts, I get a combined solution of x is in between minus 1 to 5, greater than equal to minus 1, less than equal to 5. Then for the subparts of the question, they are asking us write the maximum and minimum values of x for x belongs to real number. So if x was a real number, what is the minimum and maximum value? So if I look at the range for x, maximum is 5, minimum is 1. So that is the value. And anyway, these numbers are real numbers. So maximum is 5, minimum is minus 1 when x is a real number. But they're asking after that, what will be the change in maximum and minimum values of x if x belong to whole numbers? Now, if I look at the range, minus 1 is not a whole number. So the smallest whole number, we know that it is 0. So when I'm saying x is greater than or equal to minus 1, the smallest whole number possible is 0. So minimum value will change to 0. But the maximum value 5 is a real number and a whole number. So the maximum value will remain 5 and there will be no change. So that we might need to specify. Moving ahead, question number 54. This is an equation and we have to solve for x. Given that 5 by x plus 4 root 3 equal to 2 root 3 by x square, x is not 0. So if we start off by writing the equation, okay, so I have the variables in the denominator 5 by x and I have x square. So one step I can think is that left side, let me take a common denominator of x. So I have 5 plus 4 root 3x by x equal to 2 root 3 by x square. I have denominator x, I have denominator x square, and x is not 0, that is given. So I can multiply both sides of the equation with x so that this x is cancelled. X square will just become x. So I get 5 plus 4 root 3x equal to 2 root 3 by x. Then this x I can move to the left side, I have to multiply. So 5 into x, 5x plus 4 root 3x into x, which is 4 root 3x square, that is equal to 2 root 3. Then 2 root 3 I can bring to the left side. So I have 4 root 3x square plus 5x and I will get minus 2 root 3 equal to 0. So this is now in the standard form of my quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Now, if you wanted, you could have solved this further by using the quadratic formula, or you can even factorize it. So for factorization, I need to look at product of these two numbers, 4 root 3 and minus 2 root 3. The product is 4 into 2, 8. Root 3 into root 3 is 3. So minus 8 into 3 is minus 24. So I need product of two numbers minus 24, and I need the sum of numbers plus 5. So if I think of some numbers, 8 into 3 is 24. I need product negative, sum positive. So let me take plus 8 and minus 3. So this combination will give me the required, this will satisfy the required condition. So then 5x, the middle term 5x, I can split it as plus 8x minus 3x. And then I can take the two terms and take what is common in the two terms. So from the first two terms, 4x is common, and I get root 3x plus 2 remaining. Then from the last two terms also, I have to take a common of root 3x plus 2. So if I have root 3x plus 2, I need to multiply root 3x with minus root 3 to get minus 3x, and the plus 2 I need to multiply with minus root 3 to get minus 2 root 3. So this is my factorization. I will get a common factor of root 3x plus 2 and 4x minus root 3. So this product now will be equal to 0. So then 0 product rule, each one of them can be 0. Either root 3x plus 2 is 0 or 4x minus root 3 is 0. So I get two values of x. X can be minus 2 by root 3 or root 3 by 4. Generally, I do not want to leave a solution where denominator is irrational. So if you want to rationalize it, multiply numerator and denominator with root 3. So you might write minus 2 root 3 by root 3 into root 3 is 3. This can be the root. Okay, moving ahead to the next question, question number 55. Question is, the marked price of a toy is same as the percentage of GST that is charged. The price of the toy is 24 rupees including GST. Taking the marked price as x, form an equation and solve it to find x. Okay. So then they have already told us to take the marked price as x rupees, and they said that the marked price and the rate of GST is both x. So if marked price is x rupees, GST rate is x %. And then they said that the total amount of the product is 24. So the total amount we get by taking the marked price plus the GST. Here the GST rate is x %, marked price is x. So the GST will be x % of x, and that translates to x by 100 into x, which is x square by 100. So I have x, that is the marked price, plus x square by 100, that is the GST, that will be equal to the total amount of 24. Then if I simplify this further, I get a quadratic equation, x square plus 100x minus 2400 equal to 0. Again, here I am splitting the middle term. I need the product of two numbers as minus 2400. If I look at trial and error, the two numbers I can think of as 120 and 20. Product is negative, sum is positive. So the larger number, let it be positive, smaller number, let it be negative. So 100x, I can split it as plus 120x minus 20x. And then if I factorize further, I will get two values of x. One is minus 120 and another is 20. Now x represented the price and rate of GST, both of which has to be positive. So I will ignore minus 120 and I will take x equal to 20. And the final answer, I should write that the marked price is 20 rupees and the rate of GST is 20%. Then moving on to the next question. The mean proportion between two numbers is 6 and their third proportion is 48. Find the two numbers. So we can start by saying that let the two numbers be x and y. Then they're saying mean proportional between the numbers is 6. So it forms a continued proportion where mean is 6. So I have x by 6 should be equal to 6 by y. So this is one proportion. And also saying that given those two numbers x and y, the third proportional is 48. So again I have a continued proportion where I have x as the first proportional, y as the mean proportional, and the third proportional is 48. So I have x by y equal to y by 48. That is my second proportion, continued proportion. Then I have two equations and two variables. I can think of some ways to solve it. So for example, from the first proportion, I am taking x equal to 36 by y. So x equal to something y, I can do a substitution in the other equation. So here this x value I am writing as 36 by y. So I have 36 by y, which is 36 by y square equal to y by 48. So then the y square I can move to the other side, 48 I can move to the other side. So I will get y into y square is y cube, that is equal to 36 into 48. Now I know that I have to take a cube root. So let me try to break the numbers into groups of 3 numbers. You can also directly multiply and then take the cube root. Otherwise, it's easier to split it into more factors so that we can group it easily. So then 36 is 12 into 3, 48 is 12 into 4, 3 into 4 is again 12. So I have 12 into 12 into 12. So if y cube is 12 into 12 into 12, y will be 12 because this is 12 cube. Y cube is 12 cube, so y is 12. Now that I have the value of one variable, y equal to 12, I can substitute in this equation, x equal to 36 by 12, which is equal to 3. So the two numbers are 3 and 12. We'll continue the other questions in the next part.